Heading into neighboring French Cameroon, Cameroonian main opposition party, the Social Democratic Front, has accused senior figures within the ruling Cameroon's People Democratic Movement of collaborating with armed separatist fighters in the country's Ambazonia to manipulate the outcome of the October 2025 presidential election. Now, in a resolution adopted during its National Executive Committee meeting on the 7th of February, the SDF alleged that the election was marred by massive fraud nationwide, with particular irregularities reported in the Northwest and Southwest, in what they say is the Northwest and Southwest, the Anglophone areas in their terms. They said it was engulfed in armed conflicts, with separatists seeking independence with what they call Ambazonia. Now, according to the SDF, the security situation in the two areas severely restricted voter participation as lockdowns, threats from armed groups, and ongoing clashes kept many residents away from polling stations. Despite this, official result released by the Constitutional Council on the 27th of October indicated high turnout figures in several divisions and overwhelming support for the incumbent President Paul Biya. President Biya, who is 93 years, was declared the winner with 53% of the votes, securing another term in office. However, opposition voices and segments of civil society have questioned the credibility of the results, arguing that the figures do not reflect realities on the ground, particularly in conflict-affected areas. The SDF presidential candidate Joshua Osei officially garnered 90% of the votes, 0.90% of the votes, I beg your pardon, placing sixth among 12 candidates. The party's latest resolution suggests that the results from the Ambazonian areas were artificially inflated to bolster the incumbent's tally. In a controversial claim, the SDF accused certain CPDM elites of striking covert arrangements with armed groups to facilitate ballot stuffing in areas where actual voter turnout was reportedly minimal. The party did not provide detailed evidence but called for an independent investigation into the conduct of the election. But here is the thing. Political observers note that the so-called separatist group had previously declared boycotts of national election, insisting that no voting would take place in the Ambazonian areas. Throughout the campaign period, separatist leaders reiterated that the presidential election was not relevant to the struggle for independence. Now, this has fueled skepticism among some residents and analysts over how significant vote counts were recorded in several localities. Supporters of this cause argue that linking Ambazonian fighters to election fraud is an attempt to discredit their movement and shift attention from the electoral malpractice by state actors. Ambazonians made it clear that the election did not concern them. Blaming them for ballot stuffing is a strategy to tarnish the image of the struggle, simply put. Now, the government has consistently maintained that the election was conducted in accordance with the law and the security forces ensured voting took place across the national territories. Meanwhile, authorities have yet to issue an official response to the SDF's latest allegation. French Cameroon's electoral process has long been a source of contention between the ruling CPDM, which has been in power for over 4 decades, and opposition parties that have repeatedly called for reforms to the electoral system, including the restructuring of elections, Cameroon's ALECAM, and the Constitutional Council. As tensions remain high in the Ambazonian area, the SDF accusations are likely to deepen political divisions and ignite debate over the credibility of Cameroon's democratic institutions. Calls from civil society groups for transparency, accountability, and dialogue, while it continues to grow concerns and the protracted conflicts in the Ambazonian areas.